Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Yet another episode of Crushing Fantasy Football. I am Bryce Lockridge, your host of the show. All right, guys, this is the last video that I'm going to be doing before the NFL draft. So you might be watching this video before the draft. You might be watching this video while we're still in the NFL draft or even after the draft. But I'm fairly confident that the players that I have on this list for my high ceiling players with risk are not going to be affected by the NFL draft whatsoever. So we never know what's going to happen. It could change, but it's very likely that whether you're watching this before the draft or after the draft, it's still very accurate as to how these players look as far as their overall fantasy outlook. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be telling you why they have such a massive ceiling, why they're risky, and whether or not we should draft this player or avoid this player. Some of them I still think you should draft because the ceiling outweighs the risk. And some of them I think that the risk outweighs the ceiling. So I'm going to tell you to fade them. So I'm going to get right into it with the first player on my list, and that is DeAndre Swift. Now, this is a guy, 5.5 yards a carry, 6.3 yards per touch, 8.1% breakaway run rate last year. This dude was freakishly efficient. And for whatever reason, the coaches won't let him head the backfield. They let Jamal Williams come in and take all of his goal line work, and Jamal Williams ended up with 17 rushing touchdowns last year. He took away all of DeAndre Swift's potential upside and ceiling. Now they come in and bring David Montgomery to pretty much do the same thing. David Montgomery is going to operate as the team's main goal line back, as we very well know, and they paid him a pretty good amount of money. So he's probably going to be taking DeAndre Swift's touchdowns this year like Jamal Williams did last year. It's pretty sad that this team won't allow DeAndre Swift to really be the fantasy running back that he could be, but it's very much the case. So despite the ridiculous efficiency that we get with DeAndre Swift and the ridiculous talent, this coaching staff is not going to let him be an elite fantasy running back. So we're going to need to fade DeAndre Swift. He's going in the 4th, 5th round. It's too high of a price tag for a player that has, his touchdown upside pretty much completely taken away from him by the running back that is running behind him. So DeAndre Swift has a high ceiling because of the offense that he's in and the talent that he has. And, maybe they'll give him some goal line work, but that's just not certain. And I would even say that it's unlikely that he gets a whole lot of goal line carries and targets. So I'm going to say let's go ahead and avoid DeAndre Swift. Next player on my list is going to be DeAndre Hopkins. Okay, so DeAndre Hopkins, the other DeAndre here, 7 of his 9 games last year, he had double-digit targets. So, there were so many people saying that, he's above the age of 30 now. He's not going to be the target hog that he once was. This was exactly the opposite when he came in and played his 9 games with the Cardinals last season. He was an absolute target hog. He was seeing games where he was seeing 14 targets. This dude draws volume like the best of them. He is one of the best route runners in the league. We know how good this guy is. I don't have to tell you guys. It's DeAndre freaking Hopkins. This dude is not over the age cliff yet. He's going to be 31 this year. Big deal. I don't understand why anyone would write him off just because he's 31. He's not 35, okay? He's 31 years old. He's still very much got another really good season or two in him. Now, the uncertainty with DeAndre Hopkins is, well, is he even going to be on the Cardinals? We don't know what team he's going to be on. He very well could end up somewhere else. If he is on the Cardinals, what is going on with the Cardinals? The whole offense seems to be kind of a complete mess. And, they're kind of trying to overhaul the organization and change a lot of things. So we just don't really know how this offense is going to be functioning as a whole next year. There are more questions with this offense than probably any other offense in the NFL. So due to all the uncertainty, that makes DeAndre Hopkins a little bit of a risk, I guess. But as we get closer and closer to the season, we're going to know a lot more. And at the end of the day, it's DeAndre Hopkins. Wherever he goes, he's going to be a target hog. He's going to be efficient. He's going to make awesome contested catches and have touchdown upside due to getting targeted heavily within the red zone wherever he goes. This guy, you can't go wrong. It's DeAndre Hopkins. You can get him in the 4th or 5th round, and I think that he's going to be a money play this year, just like he was in the 9 games that he had last year. So let's go ahead and smash the DeAndre Hopkins button despite these slight risks that we have here. Next player on my list is going to be George Kittle. Now, George Kittle was absolutely dominant with Brock Purdy being his quarterback. But who is the quarterback in San Francisco? I mean, Brock Purdy, will he be healthy to start the season? I don't know. What's going on with Trey Lance? Is he going to start? Is he going to be 100% from his injury? They brought in Sam Darnold. Is Sam Darnold going to be the starting quarterback for this team? I don't know. It's a mess. But at the end of the day, George Kittle, he has a massive ceiling because of his run after the catch abilities and the fact that this offense is probably going to be pretty good due to all their weapons, no matter who's playing quarterback. So the touchdown upside remains. The big playability remains. But the question is, who's going to be the quarterback, right? Because if it's Brock Purdy, he clearly loves George Kittle, and George Kittle is Brock Purdy's favorite target, okay? But if it's Sam Darnold, is he going to favor Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk? I don't know. So it's just kind of a mess right now as far as the situation because we just don't know what's going on. So right now it's very much up in the air with George Kittle. I'm leaning towards fading him because I just don't want to take a player that has all these question marks in the middle rounds. And unless we get some clarity before the season starts as to how this offense is going to be running, who's going to be quarterback, unless we know these things for certain, I'm going to say avoid him for now. But if things get, if they change closer to the season and we know a little bit more about who's going to be playing quarterback, then we can make a better assessment. For now, I'm fading George Kittle, but things can change, so let's keep an eye on it. Next on my list is going to be Breece Hall. Now, Breece Hall, massive ceiling, obviously. Ceiling is best running back in fantasy, best player, points leader in fantasy outside of the quarterback position is Breece Hall's ceiling. Last year, 5.8 yards per carry, 6.9 yards per touch, 11.3% breakaway run rate. This dude is crazy good at football. He's going to be one of the best running backs in the NFL one day. It was a shame to see him get an injury in the middle of the season with the awesome season that he was starting to have. But we know his role in the offense is elite. We know his talent is elite. We now have Aaron Rodgers to run the Jets offense. This offense is going to be crazy good. A very good chance, I think, for the Jets to be a top 5 NFL offense. So due to the talent, due to the opportunity share, due to the touchdown upside, I love Breece Hall's ceiling. Right now, we know that players that are coming back from major ACL tears very often don't return to form until 2 seasons after their major injury. With that being said, there's a lot of reports saying that Breece Hall's rehab is going very well and that he's going to be 100% to start the season. So with all these things being the case and considering the fact that he's only going to get healthier between then and now, I think that the outlook for Breece Hall come draft day is going to be very good because it looks like his recovery is going well. He's probably going to be 100%. Okay. And so even though I made some offseason videos earlier saying to fade Breece Hall because of the ACL, considering how good these reports are on his injury recovery and considering his massive ceiling, I think we're going to start to lean more in favor of drafting Breece Hall because you don't want to miss out on that potential ceiling. He's a player that you have to get in the 2nd or 3rd round, but I think it's starting to look like he's going to be worth a pick, even if you have to take him pretty early in the draft. So as of right now, we are going to hit the Breece Hall button, and he is a player that I say, let's go ahead and draft. Next and final player on my list is going to be Javonte Williams, the other player that had a major ACL tear. Tore his ACL, LCL, PCL. He tore himself up good, right? Before he went down with his injury, 4.3 yards per carry. This was 28th in the NFL. So these things all look kind of bleak. Now, the reason that I say he has a high ceiling is because, well, we know that he has tremendous talent. We know that they are wanting him to be just the number 1 workhorse back in the offense, and he really shouldn't have a whole lot of competition for touches. So he should be unleashed this year. But he really tore himself up. Like I said, ACL, LCL, PCL. I'm not a doctor, but he tore a lot of different ligaments here. He really jacked himself up, right? So is he going to be 100% to start the season? I'm not sure. Even if he is 100% to start the season, will he able to make jump cuts? Will he be able to make jump cuts and make extremely athletic plays? Will he be at his top end speed? I don't know. These things are all very much in question. And considering the fact that this offense was absolutely terrible this year, I think I'm leaning towards just fading Javonte Williams. I don't want to draft this guy in the 3rd or 4th round with all these just obvious red flags. To me, there are just too many red flags here, and we're probably going to want to go ahead and avoid Javonte Williams. So, yeah, let's not draft Javonte Williams in this coming draft. I think it's best to fade him. All right, guys, I appreciate you tuning into the video. Catch you later.